just thought maybe one day I should see, how much
Mhm.
it costs to get a real estate license. But the reality is, when I look back at it and I started to analyze, I'm like, she had drilled in me so many times, you would be good, you would be good, you'd be good.
Mm,
And then I thought back, I'm like, was that like a insight or a gift, right? Like from
mhm,
a loved one who passed away. Whatever the reason was, that I really tie it back to like, the motivation, because I looked at her and saw how driven she was, and she used to say, come, just come sit over here and listen to this call. And I used to be like, yeah, you know what I mean? And but I would hear her negotiate.
right.
And when I look at it in retrospect, I'm like, I literally got all of my techniques from her. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
eyes at how life works, and how you think, you're going through a certain process, but when you really look back, it's usually attributed to something else that was a large influence. And
Mm,
it's so interesting, because only through questions like that did I start to analyze how I really
mhm,
picked it up.
mhm.
So,
You like reflect, like how did I,
I had to reflect, because I'm
Yeah.
like, on the surface, I would like to say it was my own idea, right? Which, sure.
Yeah.
But when I look back at it, I'm like, I had so many seeds inserted in my mind. So, and that's
Mm.
another thing we can talk about later. People planting seeds in your brain.
Yeah, yeah. No, let's
Anyway,
go.
that's another
That's
podcast.
part two. That's part two, y'all. Because a lot of time, like you just never know where the message is coming from. The messenger looks
Yep,
strange. You like, oh, that
yep,
ain't it. And then when you look back, say, wait,
yep.
this was a thing.
Marketing, suggestion, we're
Yes.
all influenced by it. We're all influenced by it. Yep.
Oh man. Hey, growing up, what was your relationship with money?
I would say my relationship with money was very detached. So I come from a large family, and it was, in my mind, asking for something and being told no, or we don't have it, was
Mm,
like normal for me.
hmm
It
hmm
was
hmm
like, okay, whatever. To the point where you just stop asking, right? Because you already know the answer.
Right.
Or at least I did. I already knew how that was gonna go. So, I would say growing up, that initial relationship probably wasn't the strongest, because my subconscious mind told me like, "Hey, it's not there. Don't even bother. Don't."
Mm, hmm
Um, as I grew into my own person, I would say as a young adult, I learned very quickly the value of money, and I also learned that nothing is permanent. You're able to change your circumstances depending on the amount of effort that you put in.
Mm. Powerful stuff. Powerful
Yeah.
stuff. Nothing is permanent. Love that.
Mhm.
Man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a whole nother path we could go down. But yeah, I was curious. I was
Part
curious.
two on this.
Yeah, we definitely. It's funny. I was on a podcast last week, and we was talking, and the hour flew by, and he was just like, "Hey, Murph, I got to bring you back," and I was like, "Oh, for part two, okay." One podcast I did was 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and
Oh
I
my
it
goodness.
was scheduled for two, and I'm thinking,
Oh
what
my
we gonna
God.
talk about for 2 hours? Hanifa,
2 hours is like a long time. Yeah.
we was it was just bro. I'm sure me and you could talk 2 hours. It just was go. It was cool. It was a Navy. I was really excited about that. What would if you look back, 18-year-old you, what would she be most proud of or surprised about? How you turned out in life?
Oh man. Ooh, that's a really good question. I feel like 18-year-old me. Ooh, I would have never expected, to be honest, that I would be on the path that I am on now. I had certain expectations for myself, and I've always been a visionary. Always. I've
Hmm.
always had extremely high expectations for myself, but this is a complete different trajectory from what I myself envisioned.
Hmm.
So I don't know if this necessarily answers your question, but it does tie back to the value that, as long as you have faith and you believe in a higher purpose, a higher cause, or God, and you allow yourself to be utilized for the best and highest good, no matter what, like that purpose will be fulfilled, right? So
Mm,
sometimes we envision it a certain way for ourselves, but if you allow yourself, if you surrender and allow yourself to be utilized for the best and highest
mm,
purpose, you'll be surprised at how that shows up.
mm, mm. Do you are you a Toastmaster?
I'm not.
Okay. For y'all that don't know, Toastmasters, you know, it's like a speaking club. I've been to a couple of them. I'm not a member though, but what what moment break down or break through shaped your path?
Oh, really? This
You
one is
peeling back
deep.
onions, yeah.
It's so interesting because, okay, here's the answer. I feel like when I look at my life and I even compare it to my siblings who have had the exact same upbringing as me, same
Mhm,
household, same parents, um, I feel like what really modified the trajectory of my path is I personally,
Jordan, what up?
sorry about that.
No.
I personally had to deal with a lot of death growing up. And
Mm,
the reason why I prefaced it that way is because it was death from people who were close to me personally and not necessarily my siblings. Um, like I mentioned, my mom's
mhm,
friend who I happened to be close with because I, helped her. And
mhm,
um, when I was 27 years old, my best friend
mm,
passed away in a tragic, it was like a freak accident.
man.
And I would absolutely attribute that to a shift in who I am today because I think seeing that and how fragile life was, um, it really molded my perception on what was important in life.
Mhm.